All right, all right, all right. Listen, so man, we are here. We are here in the studio, down here, rocking with Black Cess Media here or for the social impact plight of the black man in America. I'm your host, Deonte Cooley, with my co-host, brother Malcolm Pulliam.
Yes, sir.
And then we also have a special guest with us today.
Special.
And listen, this is the first woman guest that we've had on our show. You know what I mean? And she's going to come through and give us some information. But first and foremost, introduce yourself to everybody. Let us know who you are.
Hello, Erie, PA. I am Alicia Lindsey. Most of you know me as Locks by Alicia. Been serving the city for a little bit of time here in North Carolina. But today I'm not here to really, hair might come up here or there, but
we're going to get it all out.
I'm here mostly to discuss mental health in the Black community. So we'll get into all that shortly, and whatever else comes to my head, comes to brain.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that's definitely appreciated. You know what I mean? And I know brother Malcolm, appreciate you for reaching out and making all of this thing come about. You know what I mean?
Yes,
this is
indeed.
Malcolm, like, listen, man, I got sister Alicia Lindsey. She want to rock out with us. Like, what's up with you? So
trying to get her last week, but she was busy.
Listen, man, we was pushing for time. But again, like, first and foremost, I appreciate you coming on here, having a conversation with us. And the reason why I say that is just first, like, being able to come on here and speak. And then to just be live, but then also because the title of the show, different people have reached out to me, like, when you think the plight of the black man, it just sounds like angry black dude, or you know what I mean? And it's like we just getting started, we just rocking out, and it's like you the first. And I don't know if you prefer lady, woman, female. I don't want to be offensive, so I say woman. You know what I mean? The first woman guest that we've had on here, so we appreciate that because we take some smoke and we take some heat for the title of our show, and then also I know I take heat for the things that I say and the way I run my mouth. So thank you for that. First and foremost.
Y'all need a place to speak.
Let's go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel like not just, we all need to be heard at some point. Black men and black women. And a lot to me, with me having sons, I realized that y'all really don't get to speak up as much as you should, or would be looked like as a stigma.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? So I love it.
Thank you.
I just came in to help, give y'all a woman's point of view.
You're going to hold it down.
Oh, okay.
Come in on the see how y'all talking, because I feel like we can't get nowhere as a people if we don't listen.
Right.
Like, we need to listen to each other so I can understand what you're going through, and
right.
you can understand what I'm going through.
Right.
So we can have an understanding at the end of the day, like, okay, well, let's come to a resolution.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. That's what it sounded. It sounded to me like you're saying what you was expecting, bro. When you sent out the invitation, what kind of conversation was you expecting?
She know we gonna tackle everything.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, even when she just came out with that intro, you know what I mean? Like, it was your. I'm saying, like,
she said she was gonna tackle mental health.
Right. No. But what I'm saying is, like, when you decide, okay, boom, I want her to get her on the show. Like, why did you pick Alicia?
Yeah.
Oh, let me take it there.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
First off, because this person that she representing on her shirt is her dad.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Yes.
He's from the Black Panther Party in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we gonna make sure that we represent him first and foremost, because he just passed away too.
Mm-hmm.
So that show, when I was giving him his flowers, I did not know that a couple of days later he would pass away.
Got you. There's so there's a connection on the show. We had the Black Panther show, and we did the Black Panther show, and you was like, okay, Alicia, you know her dad, and you was shouting out the Black Panthers in Erie. Boom. So and I'm saying that just for the people, you know what I mean? Like, so everybody probably wondering and curious how. That's how we got in there. Go ahead.
That's how we got there.
Right.
But me and you was talking about mental health, and she inboxed me. It's like, I want to come on and talk about mental health as well, to give it to you from a woman's point of view, because she said what the points that we was making was good, but if we're talking mental health full 365 degrees, we need to make sure that we talking about us as men, her as a woman, our children, and so on and so on. So this is how she got here.
All right,
we gonna rock out.
We gonna rock.
So we diving into Black Panther Party. Your father was how, maybe what that was like for you. We gonna talk mental health. Then I guess you saying you just gonna chime in with me and Mark general conversation as well. So this ain't so pretty much what I'm getting from this is this is not a let's interview and pick your brain. This is more or less we gonna talk and you the guest tonight.
Yes.
I love that idea. Okay, because that's cool. So then we can speak like men, and you're gonna let us know, and on the flip side, and vice versa.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
also hold us accountable when we need to be held accountable as women. So,
okay.
Yeah,
now listen, I don't. Hey, we see where that goes. But I mean, since we going that route, like I know that you know, there's something that's near and dear to Malcolm. We want to make sure that we just keep it like it's not just going to be about areas outside of Erie.
Yes.
And I know that you have made a relationship with Mr. Marquel Bridges, and
yes.
you know, catch us up to speed on what's going on down there in Mississippi from your perspective and the bird's eye view that you've been receiving.
So I know if y'all been seeing me posting a lot about the situation down in Mississippi, I have my eyes and ears open to that situation. I have a personal family member that is actually down there, boots on the ground, and somebody that I've been working with, Marquel Bridges, who is heavy nationally with activism. He is one of the leaders down there, and they are down there fighting for the 1-year-old that was killed at the Walmart. I've been posting heavy about it. I've been posting Marquel's speeches. I've been just trying to share because in my heart, this is big. This is a 1-year-old child. We know how the media tries to spin it. So I feel that I can't be there,
right?
But I can give what I can give from up here in Pennsylvania for people that are not paying attention to it. So I'm going to make sure that I continue to share what's going on down there.
Right. So for the people who aren't up to speed, because you know what I mean, saying like the situation, and I know you and I, we've discussed it before, but like for the people who just catching up to speed, and then you know what I mean, like when you talk about the 1-year, like give us a quick little rundown of what we referring to, so then just in case people might want to engage about that one.
Okay, so 1-year-old mom and a friend went into Walmart to buy some Pampers. They were accused of stealing the Pampers. They made it to the car. I guess Walmart employees came out, tried to stop them. They tried to. I don't want to say they tried. I don't know for sure.
Allegedly, right?
They tried to drive away. Officer fired, shot baby, shot mom.
Right.
Not mom. Excuse me, the friend, and the baby passed away.
Okay.
So
since this has been going on, like people down there rallying in Mississippi or organizing and all of that, right?
And I can't say certain things, but just know that they have some heavy hitters heading to Mississippi for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's events all 3 days. It's tight security down there. They're making sure that they're safe.
Right.
They don't want to cause no problem, but at the same time, they're going down fighting for justice. Their last rally at that Walmart, it was peaceful, and the police still tear gassed the people that was protesting.
Okay.
So that is the seriousness of this situation, and we still have to remember it's Mississippi.
Right.
So,
and that's one thing like about protests, like even when you say they got tear gas, like my thought process isn't like you got to expect that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go there for that, you got to be prepared. But even before I dive too much in it, because I feel like we've talked so much about like police brutality and stuff like that, and we have a woman here as a guest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like as being the mother of black sons, like what you know what I mean? Like what are some of the things that you worry about, or even some of the messages that you send your sons out the door, or even if like when you communicate with them, like what are some things that black women or black mothers feel about police brutality or feel about unarmed people being killed, period, because we don't have to make it all about, but just being a mother of a black woman. I mean, but you know what I mean? You understand what the question I'm asking, like what, you know?
For me, having sons, I always told them that they're always going to be a threat. To me, like I said, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a racial point of view. I feel like blacks are just a target anyways. I don't think that we're looked at as, calm individuals. I think that every time they're not looking at us when they stop us, they're not saying, oh, this is an educated black man. Like, they're not going to look at you and say, oh, he's educated. They just automatically go to crime, criminal.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of this stuff is happening, because even with that in Mississippi, what did she do? Outside of being a black woman, that wasn't probably going to happen the other way around, And so with me and my sons, I just always tell them, like, stay out of the system as much as you can, because once they got you, they got you.
Right.
They got you. And they're going to make, if you're in there once, they're going to make an example of that all the time.
Right.
That's always going to get brought up. You know, it's not, to me, it's not a ways of rehabilitating you. I'm just going to keep you in that system.
Mm.
So you have to be mindful of the moves that you make, how you think, how you go about your day, you know, and it's crazy that in 2026, you got to watch what you say.
Yes.
Or watch how you move just from a police stop. Some Black people are scared to even stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they don't know which officer they're getting. Yeah, there probably are some good ones on the force,
Right.
but you know, a lot of them got that, that mentality, like, I want to be in control of everything. So I try to basically tell them they just got to pay attention to the world. Pay attention to the world, pay attention to how these people move and how they've already moved on you. You gotta, you know, that comes with the trauma.
How many sons you got? How many sons you got?
I have 3.
3 sons. What's their ages?
One to be 30 on Sunday.
Okay.
One is, I had some baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
One is gonna be 30 on Sunday, and then one is 29, and my other one is 27. We got the same birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I think he'll be 28 in December.
So we talking, you got grown
I
Black
got grown
Right.
kids, yeah. You know, I got daughters too, so I didn't got the full spectrum of,
Right.
you know, just being Black, period, from the woman's point and the
sons at that age, that I'm glad that you were able to give us their ages, because I got sons that age.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a hard time when they leave that house, regardless of how old they are. Like, I always have a fear of something happening.
Yeah.
Because certain situations have happened around us, period.
Yeah.
Especially growing up here. Like, I get that fear not just from the police, but from your other Black men. And we have, I think that's an area that we have to touch. We stay away from it because we keep saying Black on Black, but I don't think that we dive into that type of situation enough. We can't keep we're going to keep speaking about the police doing injustices, but we also have to speak about Black on Black crime too, because that's just as big. Like, you can't speak about one thing and don't speak about the other thing.
I mean, I hear what you. I don't agree with that.
But that's good.
And that's why we dive into
Absolutely.
that, because like, I think on the flip side, I think as opposed to us, like, because when we talk about, even when we talk about police brutality, we break it down to the officer,
right?
We break it down to the place, the space, the moment, and all of that. So what I'm saying is I'm not willing to sit up here and be like, okay, Black man, y'all got to stop fighting. If we ain't gonna be specific about it, like, if I ain't gonna say, Malcolm, you was dead wrong for getting in a fight with Deonte inside the Metroplex at the bathroom to where you punched him in his face and you stabbed him.
Right.
And that's wrong, Black man.
Right.
I'm not gonna get into that. But what I will speak to is what we as Black men need to do to be better, because we know that we have issues with beating on ourselves, or we understand that Black on Black crime is an issue. But as far as like diving into how it is an issue, if we're gonna compare it to how we're gonna do the police, and I'm going to build and educate the Black man before I try to figure out, why are you hurting him? Why are you beating him up? If I can take his mind and divert his mind to something more positive, then I'm not going to crucify him, because that's what they want us to do. And that's where the division comes. And then it's like, some people might take offense to that, because again, if you want to get into it and break it down, when we watch these videos, right? And we watch this Black on Black, we watch these police brutalities and we share it and we say, okay, we noticed this or we noticed that. What I'm not about to do is sit here and have a fight video of 2 Black men that we found on the internet and analyze it like we would do the police. But if we're going to go that route and you're going to say that, then you have to be that fair about it. So now what we're talking about is exposing people who aren't sworn officers. We're talking about exposing people who haven't taken an oath. And then we are taking away the fact of the systemic racism and why we act the way that we act. We take away the fact of, like, when slave masters used to make Black people fight, like for a steak or something like that. So when we acknowledge that and we dive into that to try to say, okay, you stop doing this and that. No, I'm more or less like, how can we educate people to be better, to divert their mind from the trauma that's been put on us, to where we act, because people act how they act for a reason.
Right.
Even when we talk about racism and people are racist, or we talk about the police, like, that is trained behavior. And some of the behaviors that we were trained, we are not privileged to own a system to be able to educate and teach for years and years. We are just now figuring out how we can teach our people. So the first thing, what I don't want to do is sit here and be like, okay, we just as bad as them and we need to get our stuff together. No, I'm going to say, this is some information. This is where we need to go. This is some resources. This is how we can get ourselves physically fit. We understand that it's an issue. But when you talk about breaking it down,
See,
I can't do that.
I understand what you're saying, and it's kind of, I don't want to say you took the words and went a little bit further than what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I'm speaking on what I see within my kids, situations in front of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at it as I would like certain situations not to be the way they look. And I know I'm running around the field with this one because I don't want to say no names or anything like that. But I just think we need to bring certain situations home versus what I'm actually battling on the internet or over the phone or in regular life every day with what I'm seeing nationally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right.
Go ahead, Lee.
Okay,
like,
y'all was I was like, okay, he talking some good stuff, and you talking some good stuff. For me, I think how we get nervous about our kids now, I think it's different because we've experienced that world at that age. Like we've experienced the world already. Because I don't know about y'all, but since my kids have gotten to be adults, I fear more for them now than I did back when they were younger. Like I worry so much about them now than I did when they were younger. Like they can fall and you'd be like, oh, that's all right. You get up, you'll be all right. But let one of my kids be like, Mom, my back been hurt for a couple of days. And I'm like, well, why don't you take your ass to the doctors? Like, what is you waiting on? Like, I get so frantic, and then I'm asking days and days down the line. You go to the doctors, you go to doctors, you go to doctors. Like, it's a different kind of world, and we know they're experiencing it now. So I think that's where the worry comes from.
Right.
With you, that what you were talking about, the intergenerational trauma, when you were saying how for generations and generations, I think a lot of it is environmental as well with the community. And the way, but the community is set at a certain way for a reason.
Right.
Let me dive into, there was this documentary that I watched a couple of years back, and it was called Last Chance High. And it was about the schools, like the behavioral schools in Chicago, how they was just taking the funding and shutting these schools down, like real quick, didn't care about what these kids was going through. So they had certain kids in there that they were doing a documentary on. Let me tell y'all something. It was sad because it was the environment that had them to where they were. Like the kids that were bad, when you would talk to them, the one boy just said, all I want to do is see my dad. I know I ain't gonna never see my dad. I want to see my dad. And when I can't see my dad, I get mad. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the teachers are like, these kids are good only on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Right. They said come Friday, it's a whole new kid because they have to go back into that environment and survive. And then when they go into that environment, they didn't survive the weekend. They come back on that Monday, and you got to regroup them all over again because they didn't have to deal with all that stuff that they dealt at home. And to close schools like that, especially when you know that these kids need them, I feel like you're setting them up for failure. When you're not providing things that's needed in the community. These kids right now, to me, I tell them the internet can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it contributes to a lot of that. Going back to where I seen another video, we'll talk like this. Right. Where a guy has said that he took all his social media down because the body shouldn't take in that amount of emotion in a number, in a certain amount of time. He said he put it back up, turned it on for 30 minutes. He cried, he laughed, he got angry, he cried some more, he got laughed, he got angry, all in a matter of 30 minutes. He said when he got off, he didn't know how to feel. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a lot to do with these kids. They're looking at what they're seeing online, and a lot of it is wanting to be like that, or why don't I have this in comparison? And then whatever trauma they're dealing with at home is going to start to come to the table.
So let me ask you something. Do you think we have enough resources in Erie for what you're talking about right now? Because that seems like it should be some resources here. Do you feel Erie fills the void with resources?
I think if it was a priority, we would have resources. I mean, Erie still looks this about outside of the downtown. Erie still looks the same way. You know what I mean? If it was a priority, the east side should not look like the east side. And I'm not just going to blame it on the city, because I think that people in these neighborhoods need to be accountable. Pick up the trash in your yard.
Okay.
You know, clean your neighborhood, you know, be respectful, things of that nature too. We can probably be like, hey, we're going to do a cleanup on this block this day. And we probably going to be the only ones out there cleaning up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like too, we hold a responsibility to ourselves. Like we can't keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, at one point in time, we got to start doing it for ourselves, especially when you know that it may not come in your lifetime.
Right.
You know, like I think that that's what we need to do as far as Black people. Like, you know, we can ask for this and ask for that, but there's a lot of money that came through the city.
Right.
You know, over the years and over the time.
Millions of dollars.
Yes. A lot of money that then came through here.
Yes.
And even within the Black community, growing up in the hood area and stuff like that.
Right.
I talked to a guy one day and he was like, Alicia, I sat here and watched millions run through these streets from these guys that were on the streets. He was like, and I used to always wonder why they didn't buy property. Why they didn't start something with it. He was like, but they had flashy cars and they had clothes. He was like, and it was like, that's all they cared about. He was like, but I'm not going to say that Black people don't have money. They got money.
Right.
It's what they choose to do with it.
But who's teaching that? No, I don't think that. I don't think that. Because then even like when you think like what they choose to do with it, again, I'm always going to take it back to the roots because like that's stuff that they don't teach us in school.
Yes.
And then when other people were buying houses and buying property at a certain time, it was cheaper and they understood the value. We as the generations change and we got so far away from learning those things. Granted, it's our own fault, but we don't have people to teach us that. So then the people who dangle it in our face be the people who want us to be landlords. Like we know Black people who've been living in apartments for 15, 20 years.
Right.
And we didn't know that it was an apartment. We thought of like, it's people who live in houses, rent the house, like this is my house. So it's like, it's certain things that we weren't taught. You know what I mean? So we live the way that we live and then we point the finger and we blame at one another as opposed to us like educating each other. You know what I mean? So even when we talk about resources, like we have more than enough resources in Erie because I know a lot of educated people who are willing to sit back and organize. Then I know a lot of people who are willing to do the work to put it together.
Yes.
I know a lot of people who are willing to do the advertising and the marketing. I believe that we need to figure out a way to where we can understand the power and the value that we actually do have as a people, right?
Yeah.
Because even it's people who aren't Black who support us and who are rooting for us to come together. And then it's people who aren't Black who are hoping that we don't figure out and realize that like, oh, wow, hold on, they working together. They're taking over their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the property thing. We can all sit back and point and say like, okay, everybody, all the dope boys should do that, right? Why is it their responsibility? And I get it, like from, you know, and I'm just playing devil's advocate with it because that's who got the big chains. That's who got the cars. You know what I mean? The dope boys. So it's their responsibility. But here it is we'll say that from afar. You who got all of these cars or not, but we don't teach them.
Yeah.
Or we don't try to go past the stubbornness because even when you tell somebody that who has a lot of money, the first thing you're going to hear is, how you going to tell me what to do with my money and you ain't got none?
Right.
And then are you willing to deal with that stubbornness to understand that you're dealing with a stubborn individual that if he has enough teaching and enough training, maybe he'll listen to you as you go through that again with him. Yeah. Listen, this is the real estate game. Let me break it down. Talk to me like I'm 6.
Yeah.
And once we realize that, then we can empower the people who we know are getting money in our community if we can make them understand why that's the way. But I think we always see the people who we know who flash and glow. And we think they're supposed to be the ones to save us instead of us figuring out, I have ideas that can connect with what you're doing. Yeah. Right. And let's have lunch. And not come at somebody instantly like, yo, you need to buy the baseball field. Yeah. Like, bro, you ain't even, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you in an apartment, you tell me about a baseball field, but we don't figure out how we can plan together in baby steps because we had to I say this all the time. We got Black doctors, we got Black lawyers, it was a Black judge now. You know what I mean? Like couple Black police officers, we got Black executive directors, we got Black contractors, Black construction companies, Black grocery store, Black gas station, Black community centers. Like what we got Black access media. So now we got our own media. Like what more do we need as a people to literally just push forward without asking for permission from anybody in the city and sitting people down and saying, that's your role because you're good at that. Not assigning you because I'm better than, but because these are the things that you're good at. And
bro, I need you to go back to, you said something that caught me, and I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but you said you have people watching people that don't want them to succeed. Can you break that down a little bit deeper than that?
Absolutely can break that down because if you realize this, right? how they talk about how powerful the black dollar is.
Right.
So because we spend our money, we spend it with somebody. So there are people who are like, yo, if they realize they spend with themselves, it's not more or less that they worry that we'll grow, but they'll lose. Who really wants to lose the game of life?
Right.
But imagine if every dollar that we spent, we figured out how to make it run through our community 10 times before we took it out, or 3 times or 7 times or something. But again, because we run to Walmart, or because we'll go to the closest or the most convenient thing, or the thing that makes us feel good, as opposed to going to our people. And even when our people are wrong, right? Because I'm not finished. I'm not just gonna shop black because you black.
Right.
But we don't even try to give them the criticism constructively. We'll say, that's why ain't nobody coming over here, because y'all ain't never on time, blah, 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 as opposed to working with them.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll wait in line in Walmart all day. So you think about it, the people who own these major corporations and these major companies, like imagine if every black person in Erie went to Manus and got gas for 30 straight days. And I know a lot of people have pushed this initiative. So this ain't me just making it seem like I got this new idea.
Right.
But imagine if we really did that. And then imagine if when we went to go shopping, we only shop where it was black. Like, and no matter what the issue that we had, and no matter what the struggle was we had to deal with, we did it and we pushed through it for 30 straight days. There will be people in this community who will lose so much money. And then and then on the flip side, there will be people who would gain so much money. And I think that's where we have the issue with, is because now I'm about to watch you eat, because all my family is putting gas in here. Now we have the complex of, what are you going to do for me? But we want it now.
Right.
As opposed to waiting for the people who are earning to build and then give. We want them to, after 30 days, like, oh man, they done made $125,000 down there. They need to have a barbecue for the community right now, today, tomorrow. And that's where we go wrong.
Wow.
But legitimately, imagine if for 30 straight days, I don't care what it takes, we're going to figure it out. If it's transportation, we're only using black transportation. And then for again, Alex, this is not to be anti any race.
No.
So we would love the same support from everybody who we support, because again, we spend our money at white establishments and Hispanic establishments and Islamic and all of the other race. So this is not to exclude anybody. This is for us to do our own thing, and for everybody who we've ever spent $1 with to now find us to shop with us. That's what they would be afraid of, because they would lose, we would gain. And then if we gained and we educated at the same time, imagine if everybody in Erie 30 straight days, we know 25 people who done made $100,000 or $200,000 in 30 straight days. And then we said, okay, now let's make a game plan, because y'all done made $20 million.
I've been saying to circulate the black dollar.
It's easier said than done.
But definitely
that's the answer to that.
Yeah, look, circulate the black dollar.
That's the only way you're gonna get it. You got to control your community.
Did you get a chance to go to Juneteenth?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did.
I did too.
I did.
I was happy to see some of the entertainment. I had a good time. I took my chair out.
Yeah.
I got to sit down. Seeing people I ain't seen in a minute. You know, how did you feel about being around your people? Like, it was safe, it was secure, you could eat, you can drink, you can run around, kids was running around. I had a good time.
I mean, I always try to expect that when I'm around black people. That's my whole thing. I try not to be just right off the door like, oh man, they're gonna cut up or they're gonna do this. Like, I'm here to have a good time. I'm with my people. I shouldn't have to be in fear.
I like that you said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be living in fear when I come to hang around my people. Like, that should not be even a choice. I thought, this is personally what I said. I know that a lot of other cities have artists and bigger artists, and, stuff like that. But I think that Erie can grow if it's supported more.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was only these 3 old groups, that we had. I like old school music. I love it. So the lineup to me was fabulous. I was like, oh, okay, I got this in the city. This gonna be nice. Yeah. But even if you haven't heard the music or something, just support it. You know what I'm saying? So we can get more people here. They can get a bigger lineup, something that you want. If people come here and perform and they be like, shoot, don't nobody come outside over here. They ain't gonna want to come back here.
Right.
They're not gonna want to come back here. So I think it has to do more with like just supporting stuff.
Right.
Supporting what you normally don't do. As a people, like all our things as black folks, we ain't gotta go to the latest party or just be out at the clubs and all that. There's more stuff to do. You know what I said? Sometimes you got to support your own community before you get on them highways to go to Buffalo, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh. And them spots is cool to go to. They got bigger artists. But if we stay home and we
channel our energy to our hometown, it should be
I think
nothing but excellence around here.
Right.
I have new clients that have moved here. Like everybody keeps saying that Erie's falling off, but I've been having a lot of new clients that's moving up here from all over. Memphis, New Orleans, like all these different places. And they seem to love Erie.
Listen, y'all ready for me?
Yeah.
Because I play devil's advocate with everything.
Don't
I love Erie,
bro.
right? I love Erie. And then I definitely understand why people who are coming from out of town from Erie love Erie, because all of the people who come from out of town get the opportunities.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you think about our lineups of leadership, and if you think about the lineups of things going, it's a majority of people who are coming in out of town. And then I even heard at the MLK Center, it might be, you know what I mean? So there's no telling, you know what I mean, with that. But then even so, what I will say about the like when we say, okay, we should support because of Black, okay, but when we support, are we not allowed to criticize? You understand what I'm saying? Because I feel like I honestly feel like that was a loaded question. You know what I mean?
No.
No, they don't.
Let's keep my personal. That was my personal opinion.
No, we gotta keep it up, right? But I feel like the way that question was lined up. But this is what I will say.
That's how you feel,
right? Exactly, and that's
what. And criticize in order
my
to
turn,
do
though.
better.
You know what I mean? So when it's my
turn.
When that's how I feel, that's my turn because I went down there twice. Right. I went down there once. I went down there in the morning. Me and my kids went down there, took them down there. They grabbed something to eat. You know, we had a good time. We walked around, let them play in the bounce house and all of that. It was fun. It was great. It was great to see. I went down there again, spent a little time. I'm not a concert person for real.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do live music, local stuff, but as far as big bands, but I feel like it could have drew to another crowd. Even so, then the people who did come, like, you have a right to share your opinion. And I think that it can be bigger. And we talked about it for the whole lineup the entire time, right? Juneteenth is not owned by one individual or one entity. So anybody, we could have Juneteenth anywhere.
Right.
So I feel like it should have been people at the 2nd Street Park, barbecuing, grilling, all of that. Yeah. I feel like at the Roger Young, at McKinley, like it should have been something everywhere. So when people from out of town come here, they could have been able to ride around like, oh, it's jumping over there, it's popping over there, it's popping over there. But I think, again, we are in Erie and we have this complex that we are waiting for one person to do the great thing for all of us, that none of us are stepping out of our comfort zone to do our own thing, because then, again, to play, and then we go back and we flip side. Like, even the people who criticize, it's like, did you offer help?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of them as well. So, you know what I mean? I offer my criticism because I came, I brought my children, I spent my money, but I did not offer help.
Right.
So I'm not going to be overly critical of what I saw, what I experienced. Am I willing to help moving forward? Yes, because I believe in it. Do I have plans to have a conversation? Absolutely, because I believe in it. But I feel like it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Like, I went down there, I supported the event. I talked about it on social media. We talked about it on Black Cess. Went down there, me and my kids went, we enjoyed it. We had a good time. Could it have been better? Yes, absolutely. Do I have thoughts and ideas of how it could have been better? Yes, absolutely. Am I going to express them in a constructive manner as well as ask other people to get involved? Yes, absolutely. But I feel like when people offer opinions from a perspective of, I was there regardless, I came to your event.
Right. Yeah.
I supported your event.
Right.
This is my opinion. This is my mouth. I'm allowed to publicly say how I feel. I don't think you can't host an event for everybody, and then when one person says how they feel, you know what I mean? And that was where I was going too. You can't, it's how some persons feel when they were there and they were giving that perspective, like, I supported you.
Right.
So then he said, when you can offer help, but those people willing to accept help? Because I heard that was an issue as well.
Right.
So that's what I mean when I say, like, one individual entity doesn't own a Black holiday.
Yeah.
But we in Erie have the mindset that we are waiting for either the government or a grant or one organization or one, like, think about the pastors we've been waiting on to save us, or the quote unquote community leaders. And a lot of us don't put forth the effort. So imagine, we all could have Juneteenth, bro. Like, it's people who live by this park. It's people who live, every community center could have had something. And we could have just been rolling through the city of Erie, and downtown would have been the biggest thing because downtown is a big deal. I'm not saying nobody should have not went to anywhere, but I don't think that people should be discouraging people from going to events. But I also feel like people should be offering help, and more people should have hosted events. Like, think about, like, all of the stuff that goes on in Erie. Or when, like, somebody come into town, there's parties everywhere.
Yeah, we're gonna see it next week.
It should have been Juneteenth everywhere. And we should have been able to move around. And we shouldn't have put all of that burden on one organization. But on the flip side, because again, if one organization is going to take it on and say, I'm hosting Juneteenth and I'm the champion of Juneteenth, and Juneteenth in Erie is all of me.
Right.
You have to take the good with the bad. And I've seen a lot of people speak highly of it. And I've seen a lot of people disappointed with it. And you can't just lean to the people who are speaking highly of it to make you feel good.
Right.
But then it's like, are you open to those criticisms? Because when people are talking, bad, they're talking like that for a reason. And I think we in Erie, as people who are in positions of authority or power or who have influence, we take those attacks personally at our character and not our work.
And I understand that part.
You know what I mean?
And I understand the criticisms. I do. But from me going and attending and enjoying myself, you know, I like them criticisms. I agree. If y'all gonna criticize, go out, help, make this a bigger event. Like
a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah, I had a
seen
good time.
people smiling and having a good that was good for me, bro.
Because I seen certain comments like they made it seem like they would instantly have 100,000 people here if they put it on.
I mean, show it, do it, prove it.
But I agree with what you said.
Prove
it.
it.
If that's the case,
then do it. Yeah,
go help.
Absolutely,
like
go
help.
help.
It be in one part of the city. It can be.
It could have been all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just goes so many different ways. But I think again, we as a people, we get so caught up in personal images.
You know what it is, bro? And we gonna see it next week. The 4th of July. Everywhere you go, you're gonna smell barbecue. You're gonna see the fireworks. You're gonna see the music. You're gonna see the red, white, blue, and all of that. This is what Juneteenth needs to be, and we're gonna see it next week.
And I think that we can learn from that and we can build from that. Because again, I'm not opposed to anybody celebrating. And I read the Frederick. I just literally just read that. You know what I mean? Like, but my grandfather passed away with different beliefs than I have, and I would never try to tread on the things that he died for. You know what I mean? The things he fought for. He fought in the wars. So like, I definitely understand all the criticism of the American flag. I understand all the criticism of the 4th of July. My grandfather, who I respect and honor, I'm going to make sure to always respect and honor him. I understand what the flag means. I understand what it doesn't mean to me, what it means. And I understand what independent, from reading that book, when you think about the first half, they fought for what we are fighting for as Black people, for their freedom from England. So that 4th of July holiday is specific for a group of people who truly were fighting for their freedom and they fought hard for it. We'll never discourage that. You know what I mean? On the flip side, like you said, June. So that's why Juneteenth next year, we got to make Juneteenth look like, because we learned from this experience and people are now being more opinionated. So I think people will be more open to working with one another. I seen something about Little League football. Like, let's open the doors for that. We in our community, and that goes back to what I was saying before we got there. We have everything that we need. We are in the way of us doing things because we don't have conversations like this to where we disagree and then formulate a plan to move forward for everybody, because Juneteenth is not about one person, one individual. It's about all of us.
It's gonna take a whole, like they say, take a village.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, what did you think the reasoning behind everybody being that way? Like how you said, just reflecting on one person to do everything.
I think because
hold on because he about to go heavy.
I like
he gonna
heavy.
go heavy.
I like
go heavy. I think we need to come together and help, because I don't want to say it's our duty, but if you have it in your heart to make this successful and keep it going, and like D said, having those West 2nd, out the way, Harley, up 21st Street, we all play a part in our community to make this thing go.
But it's easy to talk about it. Everybody don't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody don't do it. You know what I mean? So like, even like
he finna go ahead.
No, you gotta ask me the question again. You know how Malcolm always do that. Malcolm do that. He always do that. I be saying something. He like, hold on, let me cut you off. And then I told him one time, bro, you gotta stop doing that.
Think of what I said to
you.
I be having to get him back because he be coming. Look.
Hey, I knew he was going. I love D. I like to hear.
But I think you asked like, why don't people come together or something like that?
Right.
It was like, why do we only rely on that one person?
Okay. Yeah. Because I think like we were conditioned that way, right? Again, Erie's a small city and the majority of us are related.
Yeah.
So then if you think like I'm 40, and I'm not asking anybody to expose their age, but when as growing up, like it was always, if you need help, these were the people that you asked. You reach out to Gary Horton, Andre Horton, Larry Meredith, you know what I mean? You'll reach out to Mel Witherspoon.
Yep.
You know, it was the bishop brought, it depended on your lane, right? So I think that we were so conditioned, and then all of those people that I just named, they all were people of God.
Right.
Yeah.
And growing up, we were always told you don't question God. So when they were telling us things, it was godly words. So it's like we only can get it from there, and we never had the opportunity to expand. We always had to go through a funnel of one person, right? And I think now that we all are having our own understanding of God and what God is, we are willing to ask questions and challenge. So it's not like we're not looking at, we understand that there are multiple leaders, but it's still hard because you have that generation of people who still think that way. And then you still have people from my generation, yours and yours, who still think, no, this is a different way. We got to follow this because this is what they are saying. So we still waiting for the one to come save us. So then it's like, okay, now it's organization. So it's like, okay, we're going to wait for this organization to get all of the money and they're going to bring it to the community. Or like, for instance, right now, Gary and MCIC, they're doing amazing work with the Grow Erie plan out there as far as the produce and being able to provide. So now it's like, we finna wait for them to feed us. We don't step out of our comfort zone to where it should be multiple people all over the city of Erie who know how to grow food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or they even farming fish over there. Like it's the water's right there.
Right.
It should be multiple people who are fishing, and it's possible to have a fish farm to where if you need fish or we need to feed our people that way. But again, we've been conditioned, and I honestly believe God has been used as a weapon against us because you don't question God, and then you don't question your elders. And the majority of the family and the roots of Erie of Black people come from Mississippi.
Yes, they do.
So you got to include that deep South slave run. Then you got that slave trauma, then the systemic racism, and then the trust. And then all of those barriers to where we only trust one person. And then when that one person lets us down, because again, we all have relied on all those people or spoke highly of those people. And it can be one time. Gary Hoare can do 100 great things for me.
Right.
He can do 1,000. Andre can do. Bishop, bro, they can do 100 great. Let it be one time they let me down. Oh man, see, that's what you can't trust God, man. That's why I ain't going to church, man. And everybody who go to church, like they in a cult and they giving all their money away, or Gary only care about his family and all that. But like we don't tell the stories of all of the good things. So it's like, or we don't take the steps to do the things that we need to do to free ourselves because we constantly waiting on these people to where when these people let us down one time out of 100 or 1,000, we no longer trust anybody who looks like us. So we sit back and we wait. And then when we see a flash of gold or a flash of grant, where now we all chase after the same flash. And like you would have, like even when they do those diverse Erie grants, right?
Yeah.
You would see 100 people who live in the same community fill out an application for a $5,000 grant that they're only giving to 20 people.
Right.
But these same 100 people will not have a conversation with one another because they don't realize 80 of them are going to get cut out.
Right.
So how can you and I build? Because it's a good chance you might not get it, or I might not get it, or we both might get it. How do we build together? Because we all know the people who share who are in the comments, they talking about this is what we're doing. But we as a people will chase after one tiny bag as opposed to realizing that, hold on, if the three of us might be able to have $5,000 to put together on a business idea together.
Yeah.
As opposed to going to Diverse Erie to be the savior, to give me $5,000 for me to, now if I got a bakery, not only do I got to bake this stuff, I got to run to the store. You might want to run to the store. Or you might not bake, but you would drive. And then I don't bake or drive, but I clean this joint down. You know what I mean? Right. So now we put our couple bucks together, and now we run in the bakery. We'll try to go get 5,000 and run it by ourselves and leave out 2 people who we know have aspirations to grow, because we've come from this one person who the top of the food chain mentality. We praise them. We hope they do all the good things because they've done so many good things historically. And then when they let us down, we don't trust them. And that's what we say. I ain't trusting them niggas.
Yep.
Trust them niggas.
That's how they sound.
And that's how they sound.
That's what it turns into.
That's exactly how it sounds. Wow.
No,
that's just a good breakdown.
It's the truth.
It was a good breakdown.
Because if you legitimately, like, if we removed the feelings of the people that we know in Erie and even all of the negative interactions that we've had with these people, and we just take them for their name, their face, their resume, their worth, and their body of work, we got the numbers.
Look,
we got basketball coaches, football coaches, soccer coaches, videographers, photographers, pastors, preachers, wedding choreographers. I think we got a black dentist. I think it's a black OBGYN. You know what I mean? Like we got black executive directors, like I said.
It's probably they
black city councilman, black school board person. It's a black black superintendent of schools. Like it's black everything around here.
But the key thing that you said in all of that is it's 100 people fighting over $5,000 a piece,
and only 20 of them getting it.
Right. That it makes sense to go in together and say, yo, if 4 of us get $5,000, that's 20,000. Let's go ahead and make this work.
Man,
like instead of if one win, all 4 of us win.
Yeah.
It's simple logic.
But ain't that how they do it in the other?
You break it down.
But the thing is, though, too, bro, is all of us who saying this, myself included, well, not as much as others, because I ain't about to discredit myself. A lot of us will sit back and still wait. Even we know everything that we just sit here and talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
This the same conversation that's had in almost every barbershop, every grocery store, every social media post when it's that time of the year when everybody talking about, oh, if we just come together, I'm finna do this. But when it comes to actually doing, so that's the thing. When you talk about social media, we lack the social interaction that comes with the social media.
Right.
If we had as much social interaction as we have with social media, like even the people in the comments, like
I'm about to say that.
Imagine the people who commented the most on some of them statuses. Imagine if it's like, all right, y'all, everybody who be laughing at my stuff, let's meet at the library this week and we finna put together a business plan. Everybody who interacted with it when I said, pray for me, and everybody who prayed for me, let's have a Bible study next week. You know what I mean? Or everybody who said, y'all want to learn that too? Okay, let's take it off of this app and let's meet in an actual place and let's develop a plan where we can apply that. Imagine if we took the media off of social and we made it a social interaction, like we would thrive as a community, because I'm going to continue to say, even when we don't like each other, even when we bump heads and butt heads, we as a community have everything that we need right here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would love for somebody to say in the comments, or even either one of you to be like, we don't. Like, what are we missing?
Where he says popularity plays a big part.
It definitely plays a huge part.
Yeah.
And I understand that because I've been in both realms of it. I've been the guy who nobody knew, and now I'm the guy to where popularity plays a role, and everybody's calling and, hey, can you do this for me, or do you want to come here? And so that's why I be talking to people. Like, I always shout out and big people up in my community, in our community, because I understand how people look at me and I understand how popularity plays a role. And there's been a time where nobody looked at me and I was angry. So I would never want to get to a point in time to where I feel like people are looking at me and other people know people are looking at me and they're like, he don't want to show me no love. Like, I try to involve myself with as many people as I possibly can. I spread myself thin a lot of times. And there are times when there are people who I have to understand that I have to ignore. But I definitely understand popularity playing a big part because we live in a small, everybody know everybody around here.
Know everybody. Yep.
And you can see the popularity winning.
I don't know. For me, I've just always been that person that sit back and observe. And I feel like I do need to step up more.
Please.
And do more.
Please.
I can definitely admit that.
Like, you said it.
I can definitely do more in this community. I think back then I didn't have the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily not just to step up, just the knowledge in itself. Like, okay, what am I really doing? Like, I don't want to just be getting out here looking like an ass and not knowing exactly what I'm getting involved in, what I'm doing. But as you grow, you start to, if you want to learn about something and you want the knowledge of it, you're going to go and get it. Like, you're really going to try to learn exactly what it is that you want to do. And I think that's what it was with me. Like, I was just sitting back like, okay, well, let me see how Erie gonna do this. And let me see how Erie gonna do this. Oh, they ain't doing this mean they don't care, so there's no need.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's just how I was thinking of the process before, when it would come to times when my dad was like, who you think gonna do it?
Right.
If not you.
If you're not you, then who you think gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I used to be like, oh, okay, I get it. Even with this podcast, I wouldn't have never. I don't even know how I'm sitting here.
And you see how easy it is?
Inbox me.
Yeah,
but you see how easy it is, though.
But I see how it is. Yeah, exactly. I inboxed you, but the quiet person that I am, like, the only people that hear me talk like this are my clients.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I'm just observing and paying attention to everything. But I wouldn't have never thought that I would have just been like, you know what? I want to come and talk on this show. And so even like in my prayers, I'm like, God, what is it that you about to have me doing?
But you know, it's funny that you say that, because when you inbox me, and this is how I can tell you serious about doing this and kind of making this a craft, because you was like, I need to step out my comfort zone and speak about things that I need to get off of my chest in a public way. And you made that so clear. So I'm like, you know, me and D always talking about mental health, money, men, women, our kids, grandkids for me, just different things that we definitely need a woman's point of view from it. You know, they think men so go and machoism. I always say it.
That's Malcolm thing, machoism.
And get your point of view on how he's saying certain things, how I'm saying certain things, and to bring your element into our world. It's it's good.
Because I told you I wasn't coming on. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I wanted to come on here and talk.
Right. So listen, I wanted to hear. This is what I will say, and I've said this to plenty of my friends. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell this to Brittany too. You are a therapist for real. Like, you think about it for a second. If somebody come and sit in your chair and they spending hours in, like, first of all, you make people feel good. Like, when they get out the chair, they're gonna look good. So they already trust. So that part is trust. The trust is already there. And then when you sit there, if people or your customers want to talk to you, like, that's an opportunity. So I believe that your voice needs to be heard, because you probably hear a lot of struggles of not just women, but men as well. You know what I mean? And you hear, and you also see, like, I'm sure you can see, like, the body language change when you got somebody coming in there looking like Teen Wolf, and then they leave out looking like Michael J. You know what I mean? It's like, thank you, or you know what I mean? You see the pictures posted, even when people don't show you love. I know you still see it, and like, that's my work. So I definitely think it's important for you to, like, speak louder. And I honestly think for anybody who has a craft, like in the Black community, who has a craft of a beautician or a stylist, or when you have those one-on-one interactions with not just one person, because I ain't saying go spread somebody's business now, but when you talking to a multitude of people and you can kind of get a synopsis of the needs of the Black men in the community who have locks, or the needs of the Black women in the community, or whatever population that you serve, I think it's important for you to share that knowledge and information, because if people would trust you to sit, like, I don't let just anybody touch my hair. You know what I'm saying? So, and then for hours, you know what I mean? Like, I've had the same stylist for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? So, like, if people trust you that much, imagine how much they'll trust your advice and your information. It has to show something. When you touch somebody's head, I believe you into their spirit when you in their crown. So if you've been doing this business for so long, and I wish that more barbers, and like I said, I'm gonna continue to say that, more people who are in the service business of people, to where you have those one-on-one interactions, the wealth of knowledge that you have that you probably don't even realize because you don't think about it. It's just simple. It's second nature to you. And that's why, like, some of the things that I do, I feel good at, because it's second nature to me. But imagine if you just literally was like, okay, ladies, well, based on your own data, right? Because over the last 10, 15 years, I've met with, even if you family feuded it, survey says women with brown hair don't like this type of stuff, or women need to take more care of themselves in this way, or men who this and this and that. All y'all who be having them baby mama dramas, y'all need to be doing this, because the majority of the guys who sat in this chair said this. Or the majority of women who sat in this chair, y'all said this. And you don't have to give up anybody's story. But imagine if more people did that, because we trust our barbers and we trust our stylists more than sometimes we trust our own family.
Yeah,
that's deep.
You
feel me?
They do. They
like,
do.
Water and electricity, anything can happen. I'm about to let you wash my hair, then sit me under a blow drying chair.
Yes.
But I ain't gonna let my uncle borrow $20 because I know uncle got habits.
Wow.
Think about that. Like, we Black people trust they barber and they stylist. I don't care if it's lashes, bro. Somebody is at your eye. I don't even know how ladies be doing that.
I don't either.
You got somebody in your eye. You know what I mean? Or even like all of the other lady escaping that they do and all of that. Like, you trust somebody that intimate. So I believe that those are the therapists in the community, no matter how people look at it or think about it, who can be sharing a world's worth of knowledge that can change our community.
And I get that all the time.
How do you treat it? How do you treat it? Because you, like he said, you got people coming, they want their hair done, but then they got deep situations and we just talk about it, and they just trust you.
We talk about it, and and it's good to talk about it, because right now, whether y'all realize it or not, this is therapy. Like, this is therapy, us just talking, because talking is what therapeutic is. So, like, with my clients, and the men, like, I'm a woman, so I know what we experience and what we deal with and what we go through. But when you have men that are coming in there and they're like, man, I couldn't wait to get here. I need to talk, man. I need to talk, then that to me is telling me, okay, they're interested in me. So I always tell people, what goes on in the shop stays in the shop, because you never know. It might be a day I come in there and I need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I might need your ear and need you to listen to me. So I want the same respect that I'm giving you in return. So that's why I say what always goes on in here stays on here. I've heard some stuff. I've heard some hurt. I've heard some great things. I've heard some pain. I've heard some things. And when I take it, at the end of the day, when we get done talking, they're like, girl, you should be in therapy. Or you do good, well, you listen real good, or, you don't mind talking. Like, even with new clients, if I have a new client coming by the end of the service, they're like, girl, feel like I've known you forever, because I make that open enough for them to be able to talk to me. Like, I want people to be able to talk to me, because I want to understand what's going on in your world, just like you want to understand what's going on in mine. Because you never know what I'm going to end up dealing with or end up going through, for instance, with my dad, we met twice in my lifetime. And the time when I went to live in Milwaukee, I was about 15 years old. So I was explaining to my stepmom, like, look, I'm sorry that I was the bitch that I was when I got up here.
Right.
But by that time, I was 15 and surviving.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I wasn't 15-year-old who just, I was surviving. So as far as adults came to me, I was the adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting it this far. I don't really need you to be there for me. So developing that relationship and, as the years gone by and being able to talk to my dad, that's the one thing he's gonna do. He gonna talk some life into you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna talk some life into you. He gonna, even if you feel like you a piece of shit, you gonna feel like you 10 feet tall by the time you get done with that conversation. Because first and foremost, he gonna make you know and what it is to be Black and to love yourself for being Black.
There we go.
Love that.
That's the main thing. He was always for, like, I'm trying to talk to you. When he called you kings and queens, he always said that because he said that I need y'all to know y'all royal. I need to know that y'all royal. So, where Black people stand, because we got some stuff with us. Like we some real powerful people.
Look,
you know what I'm saying? We are some real powerful people.
So your dad he was a Black Panther. Out of Erie, Pennsylvania. Did you understand when you really got to sit back and think about your dad, his legacy, and what he brought not only to this community, but he had to do the same thing in Milwaukee? Yeah. Do you understand who your dad is and how?
I do now.
I do now.
I mean, I knew he was always a cool cat. Like all my uncles, them was the smoothest and coolest people you could ever want to be around. Like everything was always encouraging. Like when I'm with my case inside of the family, man, it's nothing but pure, unadulterated, like unconditioned love. We ain't pointing no fingers, ain't no arguing. We just loving on each other. And that's just the kind of person he was. So when he passed away, I got people inboxing me, people calling me that I've never heard of or talked to in my life. And all they doing is telling me great things. Man, your dad was this, your dad was this. You don't know me, but I did this with your dad, or we did a protest together, or we did this together. I'm just hearing so much. And I'm like, oh, this dude was doing some stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that right there is helping me with the grief and everything, because I feel like he's left a legacy that's ringing bells. Like people know who he is. Like before that picture, I wouldn't have known he was in the Black Panthers. He told me he did all these things, but you'd be like, oh yeah, Dad.
Right.
I need some proof.
No,
what I'm saying?
Sometimes you got to keep the kids separate from some of that.
So I would have never believed it. But the person that brought a lot of it to me was Gary Horton.
Look.
That's Gary got all the Black
Gary
facts,
got
man.
all
He
the
like Black encyclopedia, man.
He has all of it. He like, Alicia, look at this. Who in that article?
But you could tell, because I was excited when I got that picture. Like that was like Christmas to me. And I didn't know who was who in that picture, because on your shirt is just your dad, but on the original picture is 3 other people. And I didn't even know that picture was taken in Erie until I blew it up and I seen Erie, Pennsylvania on it. And I'm like, oh, wow. And then to find out that that's your dad with his fist like this, holding that sign. And then you like, this is my dad. And
16 years old.
Well, I
in Perry Square.
Man,
how that make you feel 16. Right now? Knowing the temperature and nature of Erie right now, right? Because now, so now let me ask you this. Would you want one of your 16-year-old sons out there right now?
Yeah.
You would? Knowing the stuff that we go through right now, you would want one of your 16-year-old? I
feel like they fighting. They fight for what they believe in.
Okay.
And then it's not just for them. They got kids.
Okay. No, I said 16.
16.
Oh, you said 16. Yeah, I want my 16.
Your dad in that picture is 16, right?
Yeah.
So now so let's slow this down. Hold on, wait. No. Let's think about this for a second. I want you to
let's go back.
Take this in for a second, because again, imagine how much courage. Because even when I read that Frederick Douglass, right? He was a young Black man going in front of a bunch of white people,
right?
To get his speech on the 4th of July. So I'm asking you, knowing that your dad at 16 was willing to stand in Perry Square with his fist up, and now you as an adult woman, at the time when your son was 16, would you want your son at 16 to be out there like, I'm willing to stand for whatever happened?
I can be honest and probably say no,
right?
Because my mindset wasn't back
right.
then.
So the reason why I asked you that is because, like, and I'm glad that we have a woman sitting here, because this is what I want to say to you, or I want to say, we don't have the caliber of man today that we used to have. And when I say that, this is not to take no shots at anybody, but again, when you talk about a 16-year-old young man standing in Perry Square with his fist up with the Black Panther Party. And then we talk about adult men right now, and not even gonna say Perry Square, but like who won't even step up or stand up in their community. Like, what's your I'm about to mute me and Malcolm Mics after I ask you this question.
Bring this.
What's your thoughts on, especially with your dad being who he was?
16.
The black man then and the black man now, and like, go ahead, go. I'm turning our mics down and we're gonna let you go.
Oh man, you're gonna do it to me. From what okay, I'll be straight up honest with you. From what I've grown up with and what I see now, it's kind of hard for me to say that to you because my family is dominantly women. You get what I mean? And like I said, my dad didn't come into my life until later on. So as far as knowing how a man was back then, I couldn't tell you. I was raised around all women. You know what I'm saying?
I respect that.
You get what I'm saying?
That takes me somewhere else with another question. I'm gonna wait, but go ahead.
So not having the males around, I grew up in a family where the women were quote unquote independent. Like, you don't take no shit from no man. Right. You don't do this from no man. So I didn't have that just the men in front of me and be like, oh, that's a good guy. I couldn't tell you what a good guy was back then. You get what I'm saying? I could not tell you what a good guy was. It took for me to have to grow and go through certain situations and listen to people, finally listen to people. Because before it was whatever. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, but finally taking the time to listen to people to understand what men go through, what a man should be at this point. Because at 48, I'm 48, and I'm still trying to figure this out.
Hey, listen, you want to talk about mental health and therapy? You have no idea how good it feels to hear you say that. Right?
That's crazy.
I'll be honest with you.
What I'm hearing you say right now, I think that holds true to a lot of women. And when I asked you to pretty much define a man for me, you outright said, I've never seen a good man to define me.
I can't tell you.
But you know what I mean? And I'm going to speak from a male perspective. We as men have so much pressure when we figure out, when we're trying to feel like we need to live up to the expectations of a woman. And a lot of women, in my opinion, or that I've had conversation with, this is not to, play battle with the sexes, would not confess and say what you just said, because you also offered the independent piece. And I love that part as well, because I'm not saying like women need to be weak or bow down to men, but it's a lot of women who feel like they are independent and they feel like they don't have to take no shit from a man, who also would have been like, well, today a man needs to be this and this and that. But you literally just said, I never really seen a man growing up. And I always have had the question of, how can you tell me the type of man that you think that I'm supposed to be if you've never experienced this, you've never witnessed this? So when I asked you to compare men today to men back then, and you didn't have an answer, as opposed to you feeling like men need to be doing this and this and that, it kind of makes me feel good, because I know that was genuine. And it's like, okay, well, then we can learn how we're supposed to be together, as opposed to you telling me how I'm supposed to be. And I think as men, when you're talking platonic relationships or even intimate relationships, we come into situations believing that we have to live up to certain expectations of women, and women will place expectations on us that they've never seen, witnessed, or experienced. So to be able to have some type of relationship with somebody to be like, listen, I really can't tell you what your job is, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be okay with or without you. But and then to ask, so then the flip side to it is like you saying like you're willing to listen so you can understand what men go through, so you can learn. And I think we also have to emphasize that as well, because it's times where I feel like women will just talk at me or ask me questions, and then when I answer the questions, they have an answer for my question as if they have been a man, or if they were raised by a good man, or were interacted with other men. So like, I appreciate your honesty to be able to say that. Like, I had to jump in there, because usually you would get a Superman. You better be able to build a house, and
you got to go back to, he was 16. I look at 16-year-olds today. I don't look at what your dad is representing on that shirt. Now, now the strong black man at 16 standing up, and he's standing up with the Black Panthers. So he was ready to die about this situation that was going on back then. I don't see 16-year-olds with that type of pedigree. And I'm not saying there's not a 16-year-old that wouldn't stand up, but that in that era, the 1960s, at 16 to be outside with a black glove on, a black hat with a black leather jacket, doing what they was doing in that time, I gotta give your dad his flowers.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Do you think that it's like that period, not even just being at a 16-year-old. Do you, like how you said, the caliber of man?
Mhm.
Do you feel like that it's the same from back then and now?
No, I do not think so. I do
know.
not think so. And I can say this because I am a man, right? So this ain't me just sitting here man bashing or nothing like that. But when you think about a 16-year-old man or a 16-year-old young man, because I try to refrain from the word boy as much as I can.
Right.
Black Panther Party wasn't just about activists and dying.
No, it was
or
feeding
screaming,
people.
right? So when you think about it like that, like there are people in our community, there are people who sit on social media and make comments, or even when we go downtown and stuff like that, there are people who are willing to yell and scream and get on social media and do all that. But then it's like, when was the last time you served somebody? What was the last thing that you did from the goodness of your heart, other than going to a public meeting that's going to turn into a social media show, or hop into the comments of an Erie News Now article because everybody's going to see it? What was the last thing that men have done around here to where they legitimately just served? Because that's what they were built to do, because that's what the Panthers did. The Panthers served the people. So then they argued or fought for the people who they were serving. There are people who will yell and scream, grown men who will yell and scream for a population of people who they wouldn't even give them toilet paper for. Or wouldn't give them $1.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or would judge them because we know how we are, right? So when you think about it like that, the caliber of man, even on that level of just service, like, because I get busy. And I say that all the time. Like when I talk about pop serving and doing community service, like my story be lit all day. Every place that I go, I'm doing something for somebody, for my friends or the people who are soliciting my friend. Like when I go to Cafe 710, like me and Mabel, like I feel like I pretty much work there like for free. From the goodness of my heart, because I love her and she rock out for me. But then even the people that come through there, it's a lot of homeless folks that come through there, a lot of people who use drugs, and we have conversation with them, or even just offer a smile, you know what I mean? Or young people, like I go to the schools, I'm at the summer programs, you know what I mean? Like any kid I see on the street, I interact with, like the young boys who be selling candy. Like I seen grown men criticize the young boys who selling candy, and I just gave them what they asked for. I cashed out the young boy. Young boy was trying to sell me popsicles coming out of Crunch Fitness on a hot summer day. He had them in the, I'm like, fam, I don't eat popsicles. You gonna need a cooler, but I'm gonna cash out you $10. But you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of us who will talk, yell, and scream, but we don't serve.
Right.
Snowmageddon. I was out here shoveling snow, digging people cars out. I had a lawn care service. Like I had it like any single mom. I was cutting it way cheaper than anybody else. You know what I mean? But because I still had to eat. But when we talk about the caliber of men, I think men think that they're just supposed to be to go get money to pay the bills and to be protector and a provider. But when you think about service, men back in the day were serving their community. Like we don't police our own communities in our neighborhood. We don't tell, like even going back to that black on black thing, like we don't tell people we see doing wrong to stop. Because I ain't finna talk to them kids. Them
kids ain't gonna listen.
Them men? They did that. So even when you talk about that, or even education,
there's some men our age that ain't doing that.
Men don't read books. You ask a man when last time he read a book, or what book is he reading, or you know, does he like books, or what does his library look like? That men don't, they're not physically fit. Like, you know what I mean? So when you think about men, or when I think about the caliber of man that I'm trying to build myself to be, and I think about the caliber of man that we dealing with within the society today, and I know I'm lacking big time. Like I'm working to be a better man every single day. And I know it's a lot of people who can't, you ain't doing what I'm doing, bro. So yeah, I don't believe that we have the Black Panther caliber of man who would stand up. Like we have men who are willing to die for what they believe, but we don't have men who are willing to work for what they believe.
And why do you think that is?
Don't get him started. You take a breath, stretch.
That's Mike, why you think that? Why do you think that is? Give Mike.
Let's get yes.
Because they lazy. Simple as that. Everybody don't want to do that no more. Like it's easy to go in the archives. I go in the archives and I watch the Black Panthers. I watch Huey P. Newton. I watch how they was moving. I watch how militant they was. I watch how disciplined they was. And I'm blessed to be in certain situations right now to see actual Panthers who are still moving the way that they move. Disciplined, militant. They know bullshit. And they so organized that I'm not organized. I'm trying to get organized. The way that they move with their organizations and the people that they got, and they trust one another. Like I've never heard none of the conversations I've been in that where somebody second guess somebody that said something. So that just shows me how tight they are. We not tight like that. Like we so loose, especially in Erie, we are loose.
I used to be like, is it because they don't? I used to always think people feared fighting for their people. Like there was a fear-based caliber out of it. Like, oh man, I ain't gonna fear, I ain't gonna do that because this gonna happen, or I ain't gonna do that because this gonna happen. That's what I used to always think. Like maybe they just scared to do something, or they just downright don't care.
No, I think it's so. Somebody in the comments said lazy, bro. I think it's a lack of education, a lack of knowledge. Like I don't think it's laziness, because there are certain people, like if you show them what to do, they'll do it. Some people need more than told.
Yeah.
Some people need to be their handheld, right? And I think they're the people who come so far. We have so much pride, we have so much ego that we feel like, man, I ain't finna be helping him. He don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
But he wants to get it.
Right.
And then and I think you said it earlier, like you was like the people who wanted to go after it. I don't think that we have people in our society who legitimately just want to be bums, who want to be miserable, who want to be lazy. Some people just, they don't click up there to where they do. But then it's like, it's people who, if you talk to me like I was a kindergartner, I will learn.
Wow.
We don't take the time to break it down into levels. So it's like, we'll leave people behind.
Yeah.
So when we leave people behind, now you got anger, because then now we're going back to this mental health and this trauma thing. And when you talk about putting the kids in those conditions. So then when you see people who you went to high school with, who are living the dream life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you like, okay, it's a bunch of white people, so they got privilege or they got advantage, or it's only those black people who got, and it's more or less like, if those people came and spoke to us and talked to us like we were 6, or brought it to the level that we understand, then we can build and we can grow. But I think we lack education, and then we lack patience to teach those who lack education, not just teach them, but teach them on a level that they'll learn.
Learn it, yeah.
Not that they'll hear, or not that they'll, because I can, I got it all day.
Right.
I understand. And then when I see you don't do it, I do. I'm like, oh, she just don't get it, man. I'm done working with her. No, hold on. You said you got it, but you didn't. But then on the flip side, you got to be open to me talk to you. Like, listen, hold on.
Look,
if Johnny had 3 apples,
yes,
and Jeff gave Johnny 4, how many? And then when you say 6, no, hold on. Let me. We're gonna do this apple at a time until you get it.
Right.
Like a lot of us is like, oh, you know what? You just don't get it. And when we do that, we stun our own growth. So, and then the people who know better call the other people lazy because, and I was talking about this on my dog walk earlier, we call it common sense.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know how to do hair. I
Yeah.
don't, right? So if I needed my hair done, you could do it in an hour and a half, whatever, however long you take to do it. And I'm like, no, it ain't that easy for me. You're like, oh my God. All you got to do is, you can tell me how to do my hair by looking at it. Or if somebody was standing over top of my head, you can be like, okay, girl, this is what you got to do. Twist this, do that, boom, boom, boom. I saw it, and she's just like, huh?
Yeah.
And you like, you just don't get, you know what, move, just get out the way, I'll do it. As opposed to, hold on, you take this one.
Yeah.
You twist it, you part it, you clip it, you take it. And then when she do it, no, hold on, wait. You still, let me help you again.
Yeah.
We don't have patience. We lack patience. We lack education. And we lack information to where we can label it laziness to get out the way of actually helping people. And then we give people in the society a way to label us that ourselves. And it's like, it's all, I'm not blaming everything on society. And that's why I love that we having this conversation, because we can educate people, because we need to be talking about this stuff, because we blame society.
Yeah, we do.
It's their fault that we don't know. It's their fault that we don't learn. But there are plenty of us who know. There are plenty of us who have learned. There are plenty of us who have. We just need to get those people. And even if we are those people, we need to have more patience and more love for the people who don't know, who don't understand.
Yeah.
Have more grace and offer them what we can offer them with the time that we can.
right.
And build more educators, and not just think that everybody's supposed to be millionaires and billionaires. Just build more educators.
That's that music, man. The music got people thinking they're supposed to be millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't live in reality.
They sure don't.
Reality is getting your ass up, going to work, and get that check. Because 9 times out of 10, if you in this city, you live in check to check. Like, you're not a millionaire.
Listen,
like, I hate to see people like they trying to show these cars and they count money, and you ain't getting real money. What is real money? Real money. Like, nobody talk about 401ks and putting up.
Yeah.
I learned about a nest egg. A lot of people don't even know what a nest egg means.
right.
I'm learning something today.
But the thing is we'll condemn those people. Instead of, like, for instance, so what's a nest egg? But take us to school right now.
A nest egg is you put it up for a rainy day.
There we go. So that rainy day money. So it's like,
we
need
need
to,
a different word for it.
We need to discipline ourselves, right? Don't have fun this weekend if you know you ain't that you only got $200.
But listen, bro, this is I'm a working man.
Right.
I've worked since I was 16.
Right.
I understand what a 401k is.
Right.
But you'll see somebody like if say this person with his 401k, they borrow half or whatever, they bought their house.
Mm-hmm.
The next man is saying, "Oh, you ain't get that. You ain't get that from the muscle. You got it from your 401k.
It's my money. That's my muscle.
Ain't getting it from the muscle. Going to work,
Right.
building the 401k.
Right.
So, like, we have to make sure people understand
That
going to work.
That part
will bring you your riches.
Absolutely, and leveraging the assets that you acquire or leveraging the money that you make and not just blowing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you say you've been working out long, you talk 401k, that's them saving money for you and investing your money for you. So imagine again if we learned how to do that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wouldn't be the hard working man versus the dope boy.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be, oh, you going to work, you corny, or oh, you working for the white man. No, this is where the money at right now.
Right.
Like I ain't never had no problem going to work for the white man. You know what I mean? I ain't never been a person, oh, you gonna work. I done some jobs, bro. Like it's time to get paid. It's time to get paid. It's time to go to work. I'm gonna do it. And I never try to shame nobody for working. But again, if we can have those conversations to where we breaking that down, the education information. And then I think even when we talk about, I was saying this earlier, like I think that a lot of people don't understand how money impacts mental health.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Money, language, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
She got some slide. What you got? Hold on.
I was bringing my stuff like today because I knew I remember when I was talking to you before the last episode when you were talking about intergenerational trauma. And I just did a PowerPoint on that for my class and I aced it.
Okay.
So
hold on, what class? Hold on. We got an educated, learning black woman right here.
That's why I'm like, I just told him before we started, I said, I need to start. I'm doing this so I can get on the platform of being able to speak to people.
What's your class?
And not shy about it. This one that I did, this was called lifespan development.
So what you taking classes for?
Behavioral health.
Behavioral health. So you aiming at doing being a behavioral health specialist?
Behavioral health specialist, yeah. And then after this is done, then I'll probably go for like psychology.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I love the way that the brain works.
All right. So
put the psychology with that.
I did. I had intro to psychology, but I'm talking about for the degree itself. It's a lot.
Okay.
Educated black woman right here.
It's
and she's educated. You can always learn.
Oh yeah. I had to tell my grandson, I said, I didn't know grandmas can go to college.
Yeah.
I said you can go to school at any age.
But intergenerational trauma. What you learned about it though?
What I've learned is that it's definitely your environment.
Mm-hmm.
It is your environment. It is what was taught to your parents. Just like the slave trade and everything. Anything that happened to a dynamic of people that just ripples down. That just ripples down. So I just lost my train of thought. For that intergenerational trauma, when we were talking earlier, how you were saying that a person can learn from their environment as far as what the person teaches them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as for me, for instance, I always tell my kids, like, don't expect your kids to do something you don't even know how to do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, especially at young ages, when they're toddlers and stuff, I really don't feel like a toddler can be bad. I think a toddler is a product of their environment. You get what I'm saying? Like they're learning this from somewhere.
Right.
This isn't just something that they're picking up. It might not be from the parents, but if you're letting them go on YouTube and all this stuff, they're picking that up. And today I would not want to be a parent because you're going against just society and the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what somebody says about you on the internet has more power than what you can say as a parent to your child.
Yes.
I hear that, but I don't really, that's just my own stubbornness and all of that. Like the internet don't bother. I feel like I have my way with the internet. I don't let the internet
but
bother
what about
me.
the kids?
But it's right.
Which ones?
I think
The little ones.
because me and you are closer in age. So
How old is you?
I'm 40.
Oh, ain't that
we seen but we actually seen the push away from the kids getting the little tablets, like the little readers. Our kids was getting that too.
Yeah.
My grandkids take a tablet every day, 24 hours a day. Ain't nobody moving without that tablet.
Yeah. I told my grandkids, I said, I don't understand this. Why are you guys sitting here watching somebody play when you can go do it?
Man.
Look, you got 2 year 2-year-olds punching in the Wi-Fi code.
Yeah, they know all of that. They know all of that.
But you know, when it comes to the internet, though, I don't know about that because I know how to manipulate. I know how to play with this thing and manipulate this thing. But I do see a lot of people who would take it to heart. And people either formulate their identity off of it or they crash off it. So I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they do.
So I want you to, because one thing that you asked me when you inboxed me, you talked about activism.
Oh yeah, as far as being active, this is why I'm coming here to learn. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not, I'm learning off of y'all.
So
I'm finding out things today that I didn't know. I'm just sitting here like, oh, okay, shit. Like I didn't know that. So to me, in order for me to be active in the community, I need to learn what needs to be done or learn what's going on. Like I tried to shy since I've been in school. I've been trying to stay off of this internet, seriously, like off of Facebook and stuff, because I know me. I'm distracted easily.
I done seen you a couple of times.
Yes, you know what I'm saying?
Distracted?
I'm distracted very easily.
Heavily distracted.
So I'm like, okay, I need to stay off of this for a while, just so I can get the things that I needed done. But as I've been going, I can't remember what you just said. That's why I said my brain be all over the activism. I can't be active if I don't know.
So, because I wanted to get your input on, we're coming up on a year of Cello being killed. You've seen a heavy presence of me, Deonte, and other people screaming justice for Cello, going down to those meetings, protesting, staying visible, making sure that situation did not go away.
Yeah.
How did you feel as a woman seeing these men taking a lead, going into the front and making sure that we did and felt what was right to bring this home?
I felt like y'all was the protectors. I feel like that a role that men play are protectors. You're protectors of the community. And that's how it was seen in Black Panther days too. The men were the protectors of the community. So if you see leadership in a man, then it's obviously going to be like, okay, I see we're not going to get bum rushed by anything because we have these men that are here to protect us and to show us, like, this is what we're going to do for y'all. Y'all can stand, protest, do whatever it is. But I was proud about it. I was proud, especially the first couple of days. I'd be in the shop, just have my phone on because, you know what I'm saying? I got to make money. Unfortunately, when you're self-employed, it's different. But I'm all for it. And I appreciate people stepping up and doing something because, sometimes we can stand up and do something and it only lasts for 2 days and then you don't hear about it no more. So I think this is a blessing. I think it's a good thing that y'all are doing that. I really do.
Definitely appreciate it.
It's hard work.
Sure.
It's very hard work because just sitting here, I'm like, okay, I got to get my shit in order. Like, I got some things that I need to do. Like, seriously, especially if I want to be a part. Like, I have plans after school. I got a lot of things that I want to do. I try not to tell my plans too much because, sometimes, things happen. But I do. I have some big plans that I want to be involved as far as helping the kids because, like you said, it starts from a very young age. It starts from a very young age. And I feel like their environment is it raining? I'm sorry, y'all. I just be hearing shit. I'm like, is somebody coming up them steps? My bad. I got a little nervous. Like, hold on a second.
It's like a window up there. So if it is raining out there, we
okay. All right. Yeah. Because woo. But like if in order for me to be out here and be active in this community, I need to learn. I need to know and be involved. Like be involved and be active in everything that you're doing.
Let me. So when you say you need to learn, right? This is where again, I guess call me devil's advocate.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What more do you need to learn, like to get active? So
I'm a little behind Deonte.
So, and this is where we're finna go, right? But what I'm saying is, again, when we think about like the skill set that you have right now, right? So let's say, for instance, because I know, and not to try to discredit any other organization, but I know down there at the Daffmark theater, like they have people who come there to help to do the young girls' hair. Now I don't know if you have time for that.
At the where? At
Daffmark. They took over the Johnny Hiran Center, the YMCA that was down there in the Terrace. Daffmark Dance Theater. Okay, so they have programs to where, like, I know Tierra Hicks was doing that at one point in time. Like she was going there and doing the kids' hair. So it's like because I think that oftentimes people say I got to learn how to learn how to be involved. But when you like you have a skill or you have a talent that is easily applicable, all you got to do is be like, hey, go knock on the door. The Booker T. Washington Center. I'm not exactly sure where you live, but you can be like, hey, I want to come over here one Saturday and I'm just going to be like, hey, as many young girls' heads as I can do from 12 to 8. That's what I'm going to do. imagine again when you go to the salon and people are getting their hair done and people are getting up out of your chair feeling good. Imagine a 9-year-old girl who mom working all these hours or who ain't had her hair done by you before, how she would feel. Or even if you just gave somebody who got nappy hair, a silk press, and she come out of there shaking her, you know what I mean? So again, I think a lot of us get to the point to where we look for this grandiose thing to do, to where like it ain't
it's making time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Time. Yeah, because time is a commitment. That currency is more expensive than anything. Like that's because a head though. This ain't a 20-minute job. This ain't no haircut. You know what I mean? Like in the work that I've seen you do great work. So I ain't telling you to go like this ain't like, okay, well, you need to make 6 hours for maybe just 2 people. Yeah. But I mean, like even just little stuff like that, or even teaching somebody how to part a head or stuff like that. But I think that people feel like it's so big and I still got to learn something to where it's just all we got to do is be better people and really identify the people who we can impact with the skills that we have, that we don't got to be that big of a deal. Because again, my daughter, she can put her hair in braids, but she can't part. Right. So imagine it. I don't know how long parting takes. So let's say when you say, okay, I'm doing just parting classes because I got 45 minutes every Monday. So we're going to do part. We're going to start at 9:45. We out of here because I got to be somewhere at 10. That's all I have to offer. That little bit of time that you might feel like ain't nobody coming for parting. Yeah. Might change the lives of 3 little girls who that's all they needed was for somebody to part. But I feel like we think because that hour isn't as a big deal to you, I'm not finna go offer this little bit of time because it would be an insult. But again, I know my daughter, like she be saying she braid her own hair if she could part it.
Is it the hour or is it comfort? Are you afraid to get out your comfort zone?
No, I don't think it's a comfort zone. I think it's just we don't think time. But we don't think that big of it. You know what I mean? Like we don't think, oh, so you mean to tell me 45, like something simple you do again, like something simple I do, like say I can mop the floor good. Right. Unless I'm gonna go to the school or I'm gonna go to the Booker T. Washington Center and I'm gonna spend an hour once a week showing young boys how to mop a floor. Right. I'm like, oh, it's just mop. But imagine young boys learn how to mop. So again, I don't think it's time. I don't think it's fear. I don't think it's time. I think it's just more or less we have big ideas, right? And we want it to be so grand that we don't simplify it to say, hey man, I can just offer 25 minutes. The 25 minutes that you have for me of a skill that I don't have may be the best 25 minutes of my life. Yeah. But because it's a little 25 minutes, you're like, I ain't doing that because I don't want to sell them short. You know what I mean?
And I've done that.
If everybody, imagine that if everybody was willing to be like, okay, I got 35 minutes to offer of something that I know I can do like that. 35 minutes 100 times.
And I think, like I said, it's time. Assuming because I'm not gonna lie, I would get out of that shop and go home and shower and go directly to bed. You know what I'm saying? And just get prepared for the next day. And I knew there were plenty of times when people would be like, "Can you do a class? Can you do a class?" And I'd be like, "When I have time." I used to always say that, when I have time, when I have time, when I have time. So now I'm not saying I'm inching away from the hair business. It's like I can make time. Right. You know, my schedule is only set a certain time. I'm only in there a couple of days out of the week because as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that my time is valuable. Like in order for me not to be completely insane, I need to take time off of myself.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I've been feeling like me as far as just being able to get up and think straight every day. You know what I'm saying? I'll be so much focused on that, but I know there are other things that I can be out here doing and other things that I can be out here helping. That's why I said it's not just learning, but putting in the time to do it. And I know that I've been one that have just was like, no, I'm not going to do that because it's going to take too much time. And my schedule is like this. You know, with me being in school now, I'm sure I can offer it somewhere, you know, to help out with people right now because I have my schedule set at a certain thing. But it goes back to that mental, like, you know what I'm saying? I wake up every day happy that I can still just be able to think straight. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like just be able, because like I said, at this age, y'all ain't dealing with this, but I did get hot a couple times in here. You know what I'm saying? Like this perimenopause is no joke. And I know as men, y'all don't really too much understand.
For clarity reasons, I'm only laughing because you told us at the beginning.
Yeah, like, man, I'm gonna get hot.
So you ain't let us know. I ain't laughing because that's the stage of her life. I don't want nobody... I'm only laughing because she gave us a warning earlier.
Yeah, like, hey, let me just tell y'all.
And we've been going for an hour and a half.
And we're going for an hour and a half. But you know what? You don't notice it. That when it happens is when I lose my train of thought. Okay. And I'm sitting here like, oh shit, I'm getting hot.
I think I counted 3.
You kind of
about 3 or 4.
A couple of times losing my train of thought, like, oh shit, you know, I'm getting real hot. But that alone is just, y'all men should get up every day thanking God that y'all ain't got to deal with nothing like this.
So how do you balance? You're doing hair. People are telling you their personal business. They're getting deep, and you got shit going on in your head.
Sometimes we be going through the same damn thing.
Oh.
Sometimes we be going through the same thing. That's why I said, to me, talking alone is just therapy. So they can be going, I'll be like, oh man, you dealing with that too, you know, and we'll try to talk some resolution or something to help whatever we dealing with. But it's, to me, when you're taking on a lot of people's problem, that's weight on you. Right. Because you think about it so much. Like, you may not mean to, but you do.
Called compassion fatigue.
Yes.
I got hit hard with it before.
Yeah, you tend to think about it a lot. And I'd be like, oh man, that's so messed up. And then there'll be times when I'd be like, well, damn, I don't got it that bad. You know, because I'm thinking like, damn, it's other people that's really going through stuff. And I also tell my kids, like, I need y'all to understand that I had a childhood too. Right. Understand that your parents had childhoods too. So where you may be like, oh, they didn't do this for me, something along the line, like ask them about their childhood.
That all the time.
I read, so I remember I used to run this group. I ran it when I was working in the prison. It was called Women in Recovery. And there was this one group that I used to love. It was all women's group, and I was the only person. And the ladies used to love that I did it, right? But it was a group where he's like, I had to ask him, like, women, like, identify yourself outside of the role of woman. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of women don't look at their mom as a woman. They look at her as a mom. So it was even to the point where we had this group, and I'm like, you know, imagine how your mom was growing up. You don't consider your mom anything but mom. And this was a women's group, right? So again, it's like we hold our mom to a certain standard, to a certain responsibility. Like, who you ain't never think your mom would be in the party twerking on the weekends. You know what I mean? Because this is my mom. Right. You know what I mean? You never look at your mom as being like somebody who had to work hard or who's been maybe abused by a man, because now this is mom. You look at mom as, I look at my mom as like the rock protector and all of that. So it's like, if like, for instance, people like when we growing up and people try to flirt with our moms or crack mom jokes, it's like, whoa, that's my mom. Yeah. But we don't really look at our moms like women outside of mom or outside of the role of doctor or protector. It's just like, so like when you say that, like you know, when he asked you that, as far as being able to realize who you are and be like, I was a child too, or I was a woman too, growing up. Too, man. I think when we get to adults at a certain age, we just expect our parents to be perfect because they've been holding us. Like, since the day my mom has been my mom. It's all I've ever known her to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? I never got to see her be immature. I never got to see her be irresponsible. I never really got to see her struggle. I never seen her get hurt or be. My mom is, to me, A1. So if somebody were to try to come be like, or for me to have to view my mom as just like somebody's girlfriend. Yeah. Like, what? Yes. Or somebody's employee. Yeah. Or even for somebody to disrespect my mom and my mom, somebody's subject of, that's my mom. Yeah. So when you say that, like, yeah, I think running that group, it was powerful to talk to a room full of women and ask them to little, because then you think about the relationships that girls have with their moms and boys have with their dads and how it's so much going back and forth. And I think that's a huge concept. It's like they looking at you like you supposed to be everything, and you looking at them like that used to be me. Yeah, they don't look at the individuality of it. You my mama. Act like my mama. You my mama, and that's it. That's it. They don't look at it like, okay, what is she outside of my mom? Mom is just a position I play. Right. You know, I always told my kids, I'm the person who's supposed to guide you while you're here. You're not a child of mine. You're not a child of mine. Like, you were a gift to me. So while you are here, I was supposed to just guide you. But when you get to a certain age, I have to let you fall. Right. Like that. So let me ask this, because this is something that I did learn this and got to answer from a lot of women. Do you think that women get so wrapped up into the role of being mom that they forget how to be a woman? Yeah. Oh. What you mean when you say elaborate? Because I got my own opinions, but I've never been a woman, so I can't give. I want you to tell me, what does that mean for a woman who only sees herself as mom and doesn't see herself as a woman? Because it's just like I said, they're roles. You know what I'm saying? You're the role of the mom. Like, you don't have the time to go. You know, people do make time, but you don't. That's not what you're thinking about, especially if you got a lot of kids. Like, for me, I had a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 kids, and they were stair climbers. So for me, it wasn't just like I knew Monday through Friday. Well, Sunday through Friday, I had to work, take care of these kids, do what I had to do. But on Saturday, they go into somebody's house.
because I need time for myself. I need time to be the person that I am. But it's hard to be a woman at the same time because you're being so strong and so fixated on being a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at that age where I'm trying to soften up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to soften up because I know that the way that I was raised and the way that I grew up, I can be hard as hell on somebody.
That's how my mom is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm also like that because of things that I went through as a child, traumatic things that happened. So I have to protect myself too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with me having to do all that, it's damned hard. And like I said, when you don't have that man in your life either, if you don't have a father in your life to show you what a woman is supposed to be treated or how she's supposed to be talked to and all that other stuff, you just gonna assume.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just do like, oh, well, this is how I'm gonna be, this is how I am. And if you don't like it, you know how the average women are.
How many daughters you got?
Two
daughters.
I thank God. I tell them this all the time. I'll be like, Lord, I thank God that y'all did not turn out like me.
What's harder?
What you mean?
Sons or daughters?
Put it like this. My daughter told me that I love on the boys and I raised them.
That's how it is on the other way around too, I believe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think I did that for my boys because their dad, you know, he was in and out, but it was just like, y'all dad, he got y'all. But this one, you know, let me help them out a little bit more, hug them a little bit more. And I also knew that as me having these boys, I didn't know how men felt. So I just always tried to be that person that was hugging on them more, giving them more attention, loving on them. Whereas a woman, I know, here, I'll give you these couple hugs. You got it, girl, you know, cheering them on, and that be it. But
that's the dynamic, I think. Because what about you, bro? What you think? For you as a father?
I try to balance them all.
What?
I try to balance them all. I try because everybody got different personalities.
There you go. There you go. That's what I meant to say. Yep.
So let me ask you this. If your son and your daughter called you right now, and one was at, let's just say, Walmart in Harbor Creek, and your daughter at Walmart in Harbor Creek, your son at Walmart on Peachtree, and they both need a ride right now.
I'm going to get my
daughter.
I'm
going to get
you going to get your daughter? Okay.
I'm going to get my daughter.
I'm going to get my daughter because my son, you know, your man.
Right.
You know.
But the reason why I said that is because, like, again, when we think about the relationship, I think, like they say, mama's boy, daddy's girl type of thing. You know what I mean? Because, again, like, I feel like me as, like, women, I've seen women, like, be jealous of their daughters, too.
Yeah.
And love the hell out their sons.
I love that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do everything for their son, but to fight their daughter or, you got to go. You 18, you can live out of here. You can get food stamps, all of that, but the son can stay.
The son can
you know
stay,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then on the flip side, like, I've seen men, like, will beat the brakes off their sons, but their daughter can steal from them. They can rob them. They can be running around with little boys, and that's still my baby. That's still my angel. So that's why I asked that question, because,
they
like,
see themselves when they do that to their children.
I don't know. I just look at it like my daughter, even there be times when my daughter just have a rough time with me, but like I got a 21-year-old daughter. I still call her baby.
Yeah.
Like my daughters is
still
like
baby.
My baby, like my daughters are my girls. And I feel like if my son called me and my daughters call me, like if Deonte called me right now and I ain't feel like talking to him, I'm like, you know, and I might wake up, I might not call him back tomorrow. Like if one of my daughters call me, like, oh, I might wake up on my sleep and see it like, oh, man, like let's say I wake up 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I don't want to be like, I don't want to call my daughter at 2 o'clock, but as soon as I got to call Danae or I got to call them and see what was going on. If Deonte called me, like, he probably.
I try to balance mine because everybody going through
Yeah.
something different. Like I can see, I was at the house the other day and Malcolm and Marquise was looking at each other and they the same height, kind of same build. You know, they both 30s and Marquise talking shit to Malcolm and Malcolm like, okay, try like, you know, that's funny to me because I'm looking like, okay, I know they ain't about to do nothing. But just to see them in that light, like they were still 5 and 6, 6 and 7.
Okay. You know, look at my babies.
It's fun. Yeah. Like, you know, my boys, you know, it's just funny to see them in that light. And it's funny to actually see me go through what I'm going through.
Right.
As far as this, the activism, the people that we meet and starting to know and learn. And I'm still like you give out trinkets. I'm trying to give out them trinkets to, like, you know, come to this party. You might see somebody that's you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to continue spreading that love because I really ain't get those trinkets growing up. So I want to make sure that I can give what I can give to
absolutely
to mine.
That's what I tell my kids. I said, look, you know, even if you had an absent parent, I believe that a lot of people out here can redeem themselves in a way to where they can be the best parent without even having that parent there. Because I just told my kids, like, hey, look, just because that parent wasn't there, then you be the parent that you wanted your dad to be. You know, you be the father that you wanted in your life. That's how you can solve that. You know, I know you need to learn things as you go along, that you know how to handle your emotions and stuff, but still be that father that you wanted in your life. You know, and I tell my girls, I wasn't the best parent, but you be a better version of me. You be that mother.
I don't think we all. Like, yeah, it's so much that I missed that I can learn.
Oh, of course.
I did. I've done a lot that my dad. And no shade on him.
Yeah.
Love him to death. But I've done a lot that he didn't do for me. So to see my sons take care of their kids and you know, I got a son that got married, you know, to be the best man in his wedding. And it's crazy because when he got married, he was like, Dad, the reason I'm getting married is because I seen you marry my mom.
Yeah.
Dang.
And that's the good thing.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. They have to see that, you know, even for the girls. I told my son, y'all got daughters. You can't, to me, I don't feel like you can discipline your daughters the way you discipline your sons. I don't think you can yell at your daughters the way that you yell at your sons. You know, I feel like as a woman, we take however, you know, the man talks to us or treats us, and that's how it is formulated down the line.
Yeah.
Like, you know, any man that I run into, it's going to be a mimic of my father.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about a lot of that stuff. So I would just be like, don't talk to them girls like that. You know, if you want to tell your son, I'm gonna kick your ass, okay, that's your son. You got to build him. You got to build him into a man. But your daughter, you don't tell her that. It's a different way that you talk to your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and like you said, understand their individuality.
Yeah.
So when you were saying that how you raised your kids, like I used to always tell my kids, there ain't no favorite. Ain't no favorite. I got 5 different personalities I got to deal with every day.
6 bowls of noodles and all the same amount of noodles is in the bowl.
There is no favorite.
So y'all telling me y'all don't got favorite kids either?
No.
Okay.
I don't because they my oldest swear he be like, no, Mom, it's me.
Okay.
It's me. I just treat them according to how their personality is.
I love all my kids the same, but
yeah.
My daughter was her freshman year in college. She was down at Pitt Bradford. And her and Malcolm graduated same year. He went to Penn State Barron 1 week, and the next week we took her.
Right.
Both of them was good in high school, A's, B's. She got overwhelmed in college, and I can remember her calling me crying like, Dad, I can't do this. Like, she was all over the place. And me as a dad, I'm like, look here. You just left Strong Vincent strong.
Right.
Ain't no way in the world you can't do this.
Right.
She ended up doing it, ended up taking on roles at school.
Right.
Versus Malcolm never called for anything.
Right.
Like he played ball.
Right.
He was just on the go. He knew what he wanted. And both of them being able to collab those 4 years together because they graduated a week apart. But to see both of them with that maturity of, okay, I'm gonna stand on my own. Mom and Dad got us. Let's just finish what we started.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to see that was a week I was one of my proudest moments in life to leave one college and go to the next one and see both of them get their degrees. And they both work in the school district and they going to get their masters, I believe. So to see all my kids just take different steps as a father, knowing I done my best. I'm not the best dad. I got a lot of flaws, but to make sure and see that they are achieving their goals, that's a blessing.
That is
and
a blessing.
I know that got to be a blessing to see your sons and
let me
daughters.
tell you, I just told my kids, hey, look, I ain't putting no pressure on you, but this world, man, it'll swallow you whole. Know what you want to do with your life and be the best at whatever you're going to do and take care of your family. Like, I'm going to love you regardless, but I just want to see that you're trying. Like I tell them, don't call me when you want me. Call me when you need me. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me when you don't feel like spending your money. and you want to spend mine. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, call me when you really need me to be there for you. Because at this stage in life, I always just tell them, like, y'all at this stage where all I can do is give advice.
Right.
I can't really too much save you from nothing.
Any trouble with anyone of the
I mean,
boys?
my boys have had trouble. They have. They've did some, you know, a little bit of time. They did all that stuff. But
how did you feel
as a mother when it happened? My man
with the time.
Doing the time.
With them doing the time.
I'm gonna tell you, like I told the judge, be lenient on them, but I've always told them that they got to be accountable for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But just be lenient because they have sons and they're active fathers and they're in their kids' lives. And I don't want to be back here in 10 years with my grandson.
Mm.
So just be lenient. You know, they got to be accountable for what they did. And he was very, very, very lenient, you know, and so he still gave them the opportunity to come out here and do better. And they're doing better. Like I tell them, I'm not one of them parents like, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. No, you do what's fitting for you. But I want you to always continuously educate yourself. Don't stop educating yourself. Like, come out here and do whatever it is that you're going to do, but be the best at it. And show your kids that. Show your kids that. Like I told them, hey, I'm that type of grandparent. You know, I got a lot of grandkids. And I tell them, like, I don't want you to just be out there having them. But at the same time, if you're going to have them, be that person. Take care of these kids and do right by them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did not ask to be here, to be good to these kids, because that's where the trauma comes into play. At some point in time, somebody has to be accountable. That's where I go with trauma, because trauma can keep repeating itself. You know, and if someone does something to you out of a family, and then you be like, you did this to me. If they be like, I ain't do that shit. I ain't do that. Then you still holding on to the weight because they won't be accountable for whatever it is that they've done.
You also have to incorporate acceptance in that as well, because I'm dealing with the same thing, right? But then it's like, how long am I finna sit here and try to make you be accountable for what something like it's not my job to change your mind. But I also need to understand, I need to accept the fact, because people will allow trauma to be an excuse. Like, trauma is a reason, but it's not an excuse.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So people are like, because you want to apologize to me, I can't get forward in my life. No, I need to accept the fact that you're too stubborn to apologize to me so that I can get on with my life. So I think, you know what I mean? When you throw that trauma out there, we gotta be careful with that, because you can't. A lot of people will say, you know, I'm traumatized, and I can't get my way. But then acceptance comes into play as well. It's like, if you ain't getting your way, accept it and move forward, or accept the fact that you're going to sit there and pity yourself, and your circumstances aren't going to change. Because I'm currently dealing with a situation to where it's like, my trauma has turned into acceptance, to where it's just like, it is what it is. I got to continue to live my life. And my own therapist told me this, like, if you continue to go after what you know isn't happening for you, you just hurting and victimizing yourself, especially if you know you can't change the environment. Like, it's raining outside. You can't stop the rain. You ain't going out with no umbrella, but you keep complaining about getting wet.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's raining. Like, it's you. If you go outside in the rain, you don't get wet. Like,
you won't
get an umbrella. You know what I mean? But if the umbrella ain't the acceptance, if you ain't accepting the fact that it's raining, then the umbrella is your protection, and you'll continuously get wet. So I think the trauma is the idea, and the acceptance is the action. Or because a lot of us feel like relationships need to be mended no matter what. And if they're not, and if they're not,
fact you said you got a therapist.
I was going, I'm on that too.
I don't want to skip that.
Listen, I play no games. Listen, but I will say to y'all, we've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes. So I mean, a lot of these topics and subjects we can dive. Even when you say you want to skip that part, like, that's a conversation for another 35, 45 minutes. And it's crazy. It's like, you was nervous first to come on here, and now we've been rolling. I look at the time, it's at 1:48 right now. And it's been people who've been locked in, you know what I mean? So definitely appreciate that. And I ain't gonna hold, I mean, if y'all want to say, I gotta move around a little bit. I got a hard time sitting. People who know me know I got a hard time sitting still, but we gotta make this a thing. And then we also gotta make sure that we gotta get a radio version. But you know what I mean? Y'all can go ahead and I'm gonna walk away for a second and let y'all do y'all thing. I gotta stretch my wings. Y'all go ahead.
Is there anything else you want to discuss before we get out of here?
I mean, we pretty much,
the floor is yours.
You know, there's a lot of things that I feel like we could still dive into, but I understand time as well.
We're gonna break them down, because we're gonna have you back.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. As we were diving into that, I was going to ask him, but I can ask you. Do you think that you should be forgiving? Say someone did something to you and you feel as though it's like hard. Say, for instance, say a parent, right? They weren't the best of a parent to you growing up, and they get a little bit older. You then became an adult, and they ask you to forgive them for what they did. Like, it doesn't have to be super harsh or anything, but just not being there as a parent for you. would you be able to forgive them even though you felt like they're not deserving of it?
I can.
You can?
I can.
Okay.
Because I go through my own trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
So who am I not to forgive?
I say the same thing.
When I need forgiveness myself.
Yeah, I say the same thing. I'll say that I think that a lot of people should just open, if it just, and sometimes I can't even say that because it just depends on the circumstance. Like be open to at least talking about it, so you can gain some type of give the person exactly what they need. But I'm agreeing with you on that. I said that before, that I think that people should just, if somebody is coming to you and asking you, just forgive me for whatever I did, I think that it would take a huge weight, not only off of them, but it would take it off of you as well. But I also like what he said about the acceptance, because sometimes you can go to your grave and you'll never get that apology from somebody, or somebody to say sorry. You'll never get that, because if they don't think they're sorry, they're not going to tell you sorry.
You know what?
I don't say sorry.
That's one of the worst things that I see when somebody passes away and that person did not get to make amends with that person. Like,
hey, I told my stepmom, I said, I ain't gonna hold you. I said, at that funeral, I said, I was not a 48-year-old woman. I was a 7-year-old little girl. Like, I felt like I didn't feel like an adult at this time that lost their father. I felt like a 7-year-old little girl who lost her father, that didn't get a chance for her father to be a father.
wow.
Like, that's how I felt at that funeral the entire duration. I just felt like a kid that wanted their daddy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like it took me back to a place where I wasn't really with it, but I feel like I needed it. Like, since this happened, now there's been so much stuff that's just been coming to the forefront that I've been dealing with and everything. That's why I said, I know there's a reason for me being here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what made me type that to you. I don't, because this is not me. I don't usually do all this, but then again, I'm not trying to be who I was before.
And you look so much like your dad.
Oh yeah. I'm DJ. You call me Donnie Jr.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they call me DJ in the family.
And
yes.
Before we get out of here, I don't want people to forget about who your dad was, because he is a part of Erie history. You don't see pictures like that. And if you haven't seen a picture, you can scroll down my page. I have a picture up of the Black Panther Party here in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure what year it was. I know it's in the 1960s. It is her father, Mr. Don Kaysen. He was a 16-year-old Black man standing up for his people in this city. And I know for a fact, back then, there was a lot of racial tension. My parents grew up at East High over there, going through that. So I know they had race wars back then in that time. So I know that is part of the reason that your dad was out there standing up for his people here.
It was a lot of people too. Leon Hooks and all them. My dad told me he was with them. They all were Black Panthers too. Leon Hooks. I want to say probably about a couple of them Hortons. It was a few of them. It was a lot of them up here that did a lot good for the community. But the Miller, my great aunt is Irma Lindsey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's for me to do. Like these are things that I'm supposed to be doing. So we're gonna get there.
And that's good but that's good that you are willing to come out of your shell. A lot of people won't come out their shell.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some people over the course of this year buckle. Like, I mean, when I say buckle, like, it's a wrap. I can't proceed no more. I'm gonna watch y'all from afar.
Yeah.
So we need more Black women to step up and speak up.
And do work again, because even when you say people dropped out, like, I feel like we can't say that. People stop talking, because it's people who are
that's
working.
What I mean. That's what I mean.
When you say working,
I'm a little buzzed.
Yeah, okay.
Because I will never discredit nobody.
There's plenty of Black women who are working who maybe don't feel comfortable speaking. We would love to see more Black women speak up, because I definitely appreciate this opportunity. But I know,
I think it should be a bigger forum.
Yeah.
I think it should be more women, and I think it should be more men.
I mean, I hosted a town hall meeting. Did you? You know what I mean? So when you say that, I had two. So that's the time. I had 2 town hall meetings.
When?
I had one last month, then I had one in November. So then when you say it should be a forum, in Erie.
Oh, wow.
One at the Jefferson, one at 1020. The 1020 collective. So again, that's another thing. Like, we got to show up. Like I share something about this grant. They doing this grant thing where it's grant writing for state funds and stuff like that. Like we'll sit back and we'll see these things and feel like it's not for us. And then we'll have complaints. Ain't nobody telling us where the money at. So on that, we also need to show up because you said you feel like it should be more women. But the first time we had 10 panelists, second time we had 14.
Oh, okay.
It was 5 men, 5. No, it wasn't 5 men and 5. Was it 5 women, 5 men? First time, second time, I think it was pretty even. 125 people showed up. So it was an opportunity for us to have these conversations, but it wasn't a lot. When I say it wasn't a lot of black people, it wasn't a lot of people from the neighborhood who needed the information who show up. We see opportunities, we don't show up, but then we'll say, ain't nobody giving us nothing. Or we ain't got time. But it's like you'll make time for what's important to you because again, if you got to take off work for a day to get a conversation with somebody that's going to get you $10,000,
right?
Why is you going to make $225 today?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Especially when you got sick time or you got PTO or you got mental health time. This is about me today. So yeah, we need to get to that when we get into us, and then when we see things, we go at them, we bring people, we invite people because we have so many different. We can talk about all of the complaints and all of the different problems. We think about the actual solutions. And again, like I want to close on this. You know what I mean? That when we talk about this, like we have the numbers.
Yes,
we are educated, we are strong, we are resilient, we are beautiful, we are fierce. You know what I mean? And we've been through so much, and then we are only growing and we are excelling, and we have so much support. If we can get to the point to where we get past our own thinking of negativity about ourselves, because we have the solutions. I feel like black people, like when you lived in the projects or growing up in the ghetto and neighborhoods, if you ever watch MacGyver with your grandma or your mom, or you know anything about MacGyver, like we are like the MacGyvers of the world. We're gonna figure it out.
Yes.
No matter what it is. Like we as a community, we gonna make anything happen, bro.
I like that.
We are. Like I believe that, and I believe black people are the MacGyvers of the world because think about like heating up the house with the stove or warming up the bath water, the water get cut off, you still need a hot bath or hot iron, grilled cheese sandwiches, or running the cables, the line through electricity from the neighbor's house, or everybody go spend the night at grandma's house because grandma got the spaghetti or pots of spaghetti and all of that. We gonna make sure we black people are the MacGyvers. Even when we cable mic people climbing up them, we gonna get cable. Even when it ain't right. The black people are the MacGyvers of the world. So I need us all to understand that we got the numbers, we got the strength, and if we start putting out all together, like imagine if you send 1,000 MacGyvers into somewhere and said, okay, we need to come up with a grandiose idea, a grand scheme. But we need to realize that we have the numbers as far as everything that we need from A to Z, from beauty to housing, from doctors to dentists to teachers to lawyers to we have everything that we need, and we need to figure out how we can take this whole little thing that we got going on together. And make it something. And even when we don't agree, let's be able to have those productive disagreements so that we can build from that. And sometimes we need an outside perspective of our disagreement to say, here's where you're right, here's where you're wrong, here's where you're right, here's where you're wrong. This is how I can move forward, as opposed to take my side or take my side. Give us a perspective of both, and then how can we grow? But we are getting there because we are doing stuff like this. We have platforms like this. We can agree on a public platform. We can disagree on a public platform. We can love one another. We can dislike one another. But absolutely, like Brother Malcolm said, like it always comes back to we love. We do this because we want to learn, because we want to build, because we want to grow. And then I will say, like, I'm so proud of you because legitimately, this might have been our longest live that me and Malcolm ever did together. 2 hours.
I thought you guys did the 2-hour one the last time.
Listen, it be going to time, but what I'm saying is as far as like just you being, because you said when you came in, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do. Yeah. And I told you it's just one conversation gonna flow. And now we 2 hours in and we still could probably go for another 2 hours. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I say like do this. You know what I mean? More even if you got to turn your microphone every now and again or go live every now and again because you have a lot of valuable things to say. You have a lot of interactions with a lot of people who are struggling, and you can help them through their struggles.
Yes.
So she's gonna come back on the show.
I'm learning to do this. I want to be a part of the, helping the mental health in the Black community, man. And I'm learning it, and it's a fascinating thing, boy. It's fascinating. This stuff is.
I got some women that you can talk to, but before we leave, bro. Before we leave, I know we about to wrap this up, but I do have to make sure that I get a couple of things out there that are going on nationally this weekend. The first one, my sister Ashley McKenzie down in Atlanta, her son was killed by police officers in Memphis, Tennessee. She runs an organization and they produce coloring books. I remember back in the summer, I reached out to her and she actually made a picture of Cello, and he is a part of that coloring book. She's having an event in Atlanta. Please go to her page, Ashley McKenzie. Support her. She does great work. She is a fighter, and she will continue to fight. My girl Angelica Johnson, she is also in Atlanta, but her son was killed in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I share this video every other day on my page. She is having a march and a rally in Grand Rapids this weekend. Please support her. You can go to her page. It is Pure Michigan Made. Support her. She is fighting for justice for her son. And of course, my brother Marquel Bridges is down in Mississippi this weekend, also with my cousin Rodney McLawyer. They are down in Mississippi fighting for the 1-year-old baby that was killed at Walmart. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of that city because every time I hear it, I still can't say it. I don't know if it's the up north of me, but these are some worthy causes. I post every day about these situations. Continue to follow me. I don't care if you don't like it, you don't heart it, you don't have to do anything. Just look at the videos that I post. Go on those people's pages, follow them, support them. These are some warriors that are out here fighting hard. Tawanda Jones in Baltimore, Latoya in Virginia. These are all people that have helped us when we was up here, and they still help us. I don't want to forget Sarah Jacobs in Buffalo with Black Lives Matter. I'm good, bro.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. Y'all keep up the good fight out there, man. We sending love out there to everybody from Erie, Pennsylvania. We know what it's like. We understand the struggles. We understand the courage that it takes to continue to do those things. So y'all keep fighting, man. We wishing that everybody get justice who's out there. I want to thank Miss Alicia for coming on our show, for being a special guest today. It was a great conversation.
Thank you.
This is Deonte and Malcolm signing off live, and with our special guest, Alicia Lindsey. And we are out. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night, man.